Okay, so you want to learn how to scale up a tree like this. I mean, the platform is in the way, but you get what I mean. I'm pretty decent at scaling. I can scale about any tree. I can scale tallest. I can scale this tree, though I don't do that often. But I can scale about any tree in this map. So this is gonna be a tutorial on how to scale, and I'm wearing the wolf claws because I didn't really realize this, but my green kind of blends in with the leaves, so this will help you see where my hands are instead of changing colors because I like my color. But basically every tree in this map is the exact same except the proportion ratio is either bigger or smaller, but they're all like the same. I forgot what the word I was gonna use, but every tree is the same. So you can see this little branch right there is that branch right here. So every tree is the exact same, just bigger or smaller. So there's multiple sides you can use on the trees, but some are easier than others. I think I usually end up using this side for this tree. I don't know if I use that for every tree, but I think I do. Because usually people end up using the one where, the branch is the lowest. So it would be this side on this tree, and then it would be this side on this tree. I'm lagging a bit, but that's how it works. So you could, of course, scale a different side, right? But this side right there is the easiest for beginners. At least for me it was. So basically how it works is you're gonna need to know how to bear climb. So if you don't know how to bear climb, I recommend practicing probably on stump, because it's a good beginning practice. But probably after that do walls maybe, because these are more straight up than stump, because stump kind of goes diagonally inward a bit. You see that little curve? So then I'd practice probably on walls a bit. Don't expect to bear climb straight up the wall. No, that's not that's not how it works. But you're gonna need to know how to bear climb for things like trying to go up higher. Like I skipped that branch. We have to do that on this side. So if you want to learn how to do other sides, you're probably going to need to learn, especially with tallest tree, you need to know how to bear climb to do tallest tree. So, but it kind of works like you just jump, you hit off of the base, you jump onto the branches, and then you just pull yourself forward with each branch. But it might be harder for others, because I learned how to scale in the Christmas update. There were no leaves, so it was easier to see. This shouldn't make much of a difference though. I think you guys will be fine because I didn't lose any of my skill with scaling when there was this update right there. So you should be fine. But you kind of use these branches as rebounding, kind of is what I call it. So you're pulling yourself back. It's kind of like when you are wall climbing, and you know how people hit off of a tree and then keep going? That's what I would call rebounding. I would say think of it as rebounding. So you hit off of the base after you hit off the tree most of the time. So you go like this, hit off of the base, remember? Then there you hit it twice. It's harder to do when you're slowed down because I'm used to doing it faster, but I'll show you faster. I'm probably gonna slow that. Is what I'm gonna do. I'll slow that footage. Let me show you on the other side. But I would start at the side first. It's probably the easiest. Yeah, so let me show you, this tree, because this tree I use a lot. If you see my montages, I think on every montage I have a clip of this. But it's because when people chase me, it's really easy to just because most people don't know how to scale. This is why this is a really useful skill to have. But because in Gorilla Tag, I see a lot of people that main ground. Those people die like immediately. It is like, if you watch competitive League for Gorilla Tag, I used to, you would see that nobody ever tries to go on ground. If they fall, it's not like they mean to. So scaling is a really good way to get back up to, like, if you're a brancher, get back up and then you can start branching again. Even if you are a walls player, you can scale up and then jump off into the wall, right? So it's just useful all around when it comes to traversing up, and I feel like it's a skill that everybody should learn. So, but yeah, this is how to do this tree, because as you can see, this is the side you would have done if it didn't have a plank, because there's a plank in the way, right? So most people use this to do that, but that's not scaling unless you like continue on here. But let's assume that you're on this side and not that side. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to actually use this plank as like if it's a branch. So it's kind of like you're on that side. So what you do is you go like this, use this plank to rebound. Remember, rebound is pulling yourself back towards here and then hitting up to another branch. And then you made it. I'm gonna show you the tallest and the smallest tree. So here, it won't matter what size you use, but I usually end up using this side because there's the most space in between, I think. But you can, oh, I got stuck. You can use any side. It's just you have to hit really light because, well, I mean, it's really small, right? It's a really small tree. But yeah, you just have to be really careful. That's kind of why it's one of the harder trees, because how small it actually is. Now I'm going to show you how to do tallest tree. Now, when I first started doing tallest tree, I started on this side. And as I told you, you should probably start with that side. So it wasn't the smartest of me to do. So I highly recommend, even if you're good at scaling other trees on every side, highly recommend using this side because it's gonna be a lot easier. So if you haven't like fully mastered bear climbing, I recommend going to stump or walls, practice bear climbing real quick just to get it down, because you're really gonna need to use it on this tree. So what you're gonna do is you're just going to do and start kind of like normal because they're close together, and then right here is when you're gonna need to start bear climbing. Make it up. Then after there, you know, you just kind of do that. But you're gonna really need to learn how to bear climb. You could technically practice here. Like, I can do this side, right? But I don't expect you guys to know how to do it, so don't stress out about that side or any other side. Also, sorry, my game is lagging a bit. I've noticed it. I don't really know what's going on. I just got on my Oculus, so that might be why, but sorry. Okay, let me do it one more time and I will slow this footage. Okay, what I kind of noticed is that I kind of did like a wall running motion when I was scaling right there. Because you can use this as wall climbing. Well, wall running. Because I expect you to know how to wall run if you're looking up scaling. And if you don't, I recommend looking up a wall running tutorial, actual wall running. So, but I expect you to know how to wall run. If you don't, click off this video, learn how to wall run, like look up a video and then come back. Okay, so I assume that most of you guys know how to bear climb, right? Because I told you if you didn't practice on the stump. some people probably don't know how to anyway. So I'm gonna be here teaching you how to scale all the way up a stump. Problem is I'm lagging a bit, so it's harder for me to do this. But basically, what you do is you kind of just wall run. It's kind of how I see it. I see it as wall running. Because it's slanted like that. You don't have to bear climb up to it. You can. I think it's possible. But I would just recommend trying to use the wall running method because that is faster for me. Personally, but I can try to show you the bear climbing method too. Okay, so bear climbing. You kind of just... I don't use this method, so I'm probably not the best at it, but... you just do that, I guess, yeah. You just kind of hit straight down. But you also have to hit, like, inward a little bit, because it's slanting inward a little bit. I showed you this earlier. You see how it slants inward right there? Yeah, so the stump mainly slants inward. It starts to slant outward right there. But that's the last stretch, so most people are able to make it unless they hit their head or something. But you should be fine. Let's try this side. These two sides are very similar. You can use any side you want. Since I taught you that side right there, you should be able to get up here. Bear climbing, because it's around the same. But it's basically like, it's like those branches really. Because you use this as a rebounder, and this also. So you use those three as rebounders. You would think it'd be harder than tallest tree maybe, but it's slanted inward, so really don't have much of a problem. I don't use the wall running method here. I use the bear climbing method, but you can use the wall running method. It works fine. I use that sometimes too, but I think I'll slow down footage of me doing this. I hope you could see what, like, the motion I kind of did, because I slowed it down, but if you couldn't, I'm sorry. I'm not going to redo this, because this video is already getting a little bit too long. Okay, so if you, enjoyed this video, or if it helped you, maybe tell me. It might make my day better. I said that on my last tutorial, but, I'm just curious, you know. But, basically, here's a recap. You use the branches as like rebounding, alright? So you pull yourself back to the base of the tree and then you keep bear climbing. Know how to bear climb. Probably should know how to wall run too. Just for better measure, it'll be easier. You'll have a much easier time learning how to do this if you know how to do those things. So just have a little bit of prior knowledge. Also, don't stress yourself if you can't get it immediately. It's harder than it looks at the beginning, but once you gain muscle memory, because every tree out there is the same, once you gain muscle memory, you will be all set and you'll be able to do it most of the time, alright? Even I still mess up sometimes, because I'm in a panic, because I'm usually last and it's scary, bro. But, don't expect to get it immediately. It took me a little bit, but as most things, you just need to practice and it'll just eventually click. That's what happened to me with every skill I've learned in this game. It just clicks for me. Don't know how, don't know why, but it just happens to people. But if you found this tutorial helpful, help the video get in my recommended, if you know what I mean. Well, getting not mine, but in people's recommended, because I want to help people in this game. I see a lot of people struggling to do things, and I just scale straight up a tree, and most people don't know how to do this. This is why I'm making this video. I want to help people out so they can have more skill in the game. Hope this helped. If it did, consider commenting it. But I've been Crouton, and I'll see you guys around.